This picture isn't mine, and it's a little bit blurry. It's not as high quality as his, but it'll do just fine. So I'm starting this tutorial off by just opening up a few adjustments over here. What I'm going to be opening is brightness, contrast, curves, exposure, vibrance, and color balance. So starting up here, I'm going to, basically this is all the same effects as Lightroom. I'm just using the color balance instead of the temperature and tint. So for temperature, basically it's just blue and yellow. What I'm going to do for this is I'm going to increase the temperature to blue a little bit because Brandon's photos seem to have kind of a cool tint to them. I'm not overdoing it though. And now I'm just adding a slightly magenta hue, or not, it doesn't really matter. This just kind of gives it a purpley look. Next, I am clicking on Vibrance, and since his photos are always really bright, as you can see, Vibrance and Saturation are very different. Vibrance is kind of more balanced, I think, in my opinion, because Saturation kind of ups all the yellows and it kind of makes it look creepy. So I'm just going to increase the Vibrance. Now I'm going to go over to exposure and up this a little bit. It's already a pretty bright picture, so I'm not too worried about this. Then I'm going to go and up the contrast as well. Now the real area that you get all the effects is the curves. So basically, just a quick explanation, this is where the shadows are in the image. So this section is where the darkest shadows are, and this is where the lightest highlights are. And this is RGB, so it's basically just black and white. It's everything together. It's not color specific, so if I move this down, it makes it darker in the shadow areas, or if I move it up, it makes it kind of a faded look. So I'm actually gonna move it up just a little bit. And another tip for this is to give it some points along the edge here so that you can kind of control it. I'm just gonna fade it a little bit. You can also lighten it this way and lower the highlight section. It doesn't have a huge effect on this picture, but it does kind of make the highlights stand out a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Now I'm gonna go down to red, and red, I'm not really huge on this one. I mean, his pictures aren't super red or green. I might lower it in the shadows a little bit and kind of leave it where it is there, and you just want to play around with these until you feel comfortable with how it looks. I'm skipping over green because I don't know, because I already kind of messed around with the green and the red section. So for blue, this is important because the shadows of his images have kind of a blue tint to them. So I'm going to be upping, maybe not that much. I'm going to up the blues here a little bit, but I'm going to keep it low in the midtones, maybe not that low. And then up here, I'm going to be adding more yellow. Also, if you want to remove one of these points, just drag it off of the image. So as you can see, this adds more yellow to the highlights, but I'm kind of thinking that I'm just gonna add yellow to the medium highlights. I'm gonna go back up to my color balances, and you can kind of go back through and edit these around just to see which ones you're most comfortable with. Okay, so next I'm going to make a copy of the background, and I'm going to hide it. Okay, so I'm going to right click on one of these in this area over here, and I'm going to go to merge visible, so that merges all of them that are visible, and this changes. So as you can see, this is how the picture looked before, and this is how it looks now. It's still not quite ready yet though. But I'm going to unlock my background layer. I don't know why it's locked. I'm gonna move my background copy underneath it, and then I'm going to add another curves level. So for this, I'm just going to be making the shadows darker by dragging the, oop, maybe not. Like so, and then dragging these up. All right, next I'm going to head over to the curves again, and I'm gonna double click on this just to open it back up. I'm gonna open the blue now, and I'm gonna make these little points all along just so I can identify where the iris area, because I'm going to be increasing the blue of that just to make it stand out a little bit more. Next part is kind of what makes his pictures look like his. He uses lights, but his camera is set so that it's focused on a different subject, which makes the lights look blurry. So I'm gonna show you how to do that without actually having lights. So I'm gonna go to merge visible once more. Now I'm gonna create a new layer just so you're never working on your original. I'm going to click the brush tool over here, or you can also click B. And then you can go up here to edit, or you can edit right on the page by right clicking. I'm going to start by creating some bigger shapes around the eye, and I'm going to change the color to white. Oops. Now you want to change the opacity to very low and change the hardness to 94 maybe. You can also make it a little bit softer or harder, but I kind of like this just slightly blurred look around the edges, like barely noticeable. And then you just want to continue to do that. You can also head over to like a yellow and do that. You can change the opacity. So just continue to do that until you feel comfortable with the result. Alright, now this final step is what makes it look kind of mystical or whatever. You want to start by taking a kind of a slightly larger brush preset, and then I'm going to lower the size. Next, I'm taking it a little bit lighter and a little bit smaller. And you can make it random, you can do a pattern, it's up to you. I think it looks best if it's a little bit randomized. And finally, you can bring the brush down to a very small size. That's it, that's the end of the tutorial. If you guys want to see more like this, or if you want to see how he shoots his pictures and edits those when he shoots in the dark, I can upload some of those too if you guys like this one. Just let me know in the comments down below, and be sure to give it a thumbs up if you did like it, and stay tuned for my next video. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time. Bye.